everyone. Welcome to Tennessee's At Home Learning Series for Math. Today's lesson is for all of our first graders out there, but of course, anyone is more than welcome to tune in. Today's lesson is the 12th lesson in our series. My name is Miss Sarah, and I'm a first grade teacher at Baxter Primary School in the Putnam County School System. I'm so excited that I get to be your teacher again today. Welcome to our virtual classroom. Today we will be learning how to find a pattern using the 120 chart. But if you didn't catch our previous lessons, you can find them on the Tennessee Department of Education's website at www.tn.gov/education. You can still tune in to today's lesson if you haven't seen those lessons, but it might be a little bit more fun if you go back and you watch those first. We're going to be doing some things today with the 120 chart that we learned about in previous lessons. Before we get started, to participate fully in today's lesson, you are going to need a piece of paper, a pencil, something to write with, and the student packet for math, grade 1, lesson 12, which you can find at that website, www.tn.gov/education. To get ready for our lesson today, let's go ahead and get our workspace ready. I want you to get out your paper and your pencil and lay it on the space that you're working on, like I have, my paper and my pencil. Do you have your workspace ready? Excellent. We're also going to use a tool today called a 120 chart. A 120 chart can be used to count. I can use my 120 chart to count by 1, like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I can also count on from any number on the 120 chart, like this. If I wanted to count on from the number 18, I would find the number 18 and then continue to count. 18, 19, 20. When I get to 20, I need to move down to the next row and begin counting at 21. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. I can also count by tens using the 120 chart, like this. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. You might notice a pattern in the way that my finger moved as I counted by tens. This is something really important, and we're going to learn more about that today. How to count by ones and tens to find a pattern on the 120 chart. Okay, let's get started. You're going to use your paper and your pencil to follow along with me as we find those patterns by counting by ones and by tens. Let's go ahead and take a closer look at our 120 chart to find a pattern. Before we can look closer and find patterns, we need to understand what that vocabulary word pattern means. Some of you might already know what that means. So, tell me, what's a pattern? That is right. A pattern is something that repeats itself or changes in predictable or easy to guess ways. What number patterns do you see when you look at a 120 chart when you count by ones? Hmm, let's go ahead and take a deeper look at that. Now, I'm going to look at the numbers 56, 57, 58, and 59. 56, 57, 58, 59. What pattern do you see in the numbers 56 and 57? Yes, the ones digit in the number 56 is 6, and the ones digit in the number 57 is 7. That means that the ones digit from 56 to 57 increased or went up by 1. Excellent job. Notice the pattern of the ones digit going up by 1 as we continue to count on. 57, 58. We went from 7 in the ones digit, in the ones place, to 8 in the ones place. So it continued to increase by 1. 58, 59. We went from 8 in the ones place to 9 in the ones place. Wow. As I count using a 120 chart, did you notice my finger moving across the row? You did, yes. Because when we count by ones on the 120 chart, we move in a horizontal direction, which means that we went across the row. Excellent job. We just found a pattern on the 120 chart when counting by ones. Now we're going to practice counting by tens on the 120 chart. Are you ready? I think you are. What patterns do you see on the 120 chart when you count by tens? Watch me as I count by tens on our 120 chart. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120. Great job following along as I counted by tens. Did you notice my finger moving down the number chart as I counted by tens? When I counted by tens on my number chart, I moved down the column. I can count my tens from any number by moving down the column. Count along with me as I count by tens from the number 2. So I'm going to find the number 2, and then I'm going to move down the columns to count by 10, like this. 2, 12, 22, 32, 42, 52, 62, 72, 82, 92, 102, 112. Great job using your 120 chart to count by tens. Give yourself a pat on the back. Why? because we're so smart. Now, let's see if we can find that pattern. Are you ready? Let's do it. When we counted by tens on the 120 chart using it, when we counted by tens on the 120 chart, starting with the number 2, what pattern did you notice as we moved down the column? 2, 12, 22, 32, 42, 52, 62, 72, 82, 92, 102, 112. What happened to the number in the tens place? You are so right. If you are thinking that the number in the tens place increased or went up by 1, then you are right. 22, 32, 42, 52, 62, 72. Great job finding a pattern counting by tens in a 120 chart. You are doing a fabulous job. I want you to stand up, and as you count by tens, I want you to punch out each of those numbers. Let's do it. 10, 20, 30, 40. Whew. Awesome job. So, we have discovered some really cool patterns today using a 120 chart. We learned that when you count by tens, the ones digit stays the same. And when you count by ones, the ones digit changes. We also learned that when you count by ones, the ones digit increases by 1. Now we are ready to try some problems together. Let's do it. We're going to take a look at our very first problem. Watch as I use a 120 chart to help me count. 112, 113, 114. I want to use a 120 chart to continue that pattern to the next 5 numbers. So first, I am going to find the number 112 on my 120 chart. The next number in the problem is 113. So I'm going to find that on my 120 chart. Then the next number in my problem is 114. So I'm going to find that number now on my 120 chart. I wonder if my pattern is counting by ones or if it's counting by tens. You're so right. I am moving horizontally across my row and counting by ones. That means the ones digit is going up by 1 each time. Can you help me use my counting by ones pattern to find the next 5 numbers? I knew you would. Let's do it. 115, 116, 117, 118, 119. Great job. Now I know the answer to my problem and I will fill in the pattern. 115, 116, 117, 118, 119. And I can double check by looking at the ones place. 1, so 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Wow, it did increase by 1 in the ones place. Okay, now let's look at our next problem. You're going to need your pencil and paper. You write the number 2 on your paper, just like I have it on mine. Great. Number 2 says 22, 32, 42. And then it has 5 more blanks after it. That means that we will need to use our 120 chart to find the next 5 numbers in the pattern. Since number 2 starts with 22, that means we need to find the number 22 on our 120 chart first. There's the number 20, 21, 22. So here's the number 22. The next number in my problem, though, is the number 32. So I need to find that next. And then the next number in my problem is the number 42. So I need to find that now. I wonder if our pattern is counting by ones or by tens. Did I hear you say counting by tens? You are right again. We are moving vertically down a column, so that means that we are counting by tens. That means that my tens digits are going up 1 or increasing by 1 each time. Can you help me by counting by tens to find the next 5 numbers? Let's do it. 52, 62, 72, 82, 92. I think we know our next 5 numbers. So let's go ahead and write those together. You should have 22, 32, 42. And then we move down, 52, 62, 72, 82, 92. And I'm going to check that pattern just to make sure I'm correct. So earlier we said that when we are counting by tens, our tens digit is going to increase by 1 and our ones digit is going to stay the same. So here's our tens digit. I'm going to circle it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Did those increase by 1 each time? It did. So we are counting by tens. Then we're going to look at our ones place. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Our ones place did stay the same. So we were definitely counting by tens. Great job. We have been working on using the 120 chart to find patterns and count numbers. Now it's your turn to do it all on your own. Let's look at number 3. Number 3 says, if I can get my papers straight, number 3 says 90, 91, 92, and then it has 5 more blanks after it. I want you to solve this problem. I'm going to put the 120 chart to where you can see it. And I want you to find the next 5 numbers. Go. All right, let's check your work. The first step would be to find the number 90 on your 120 chart. And the next number in our problem is 91. And then 92. So if we're moving across our 120 chart, are we counting by ones or by tens? Right, we're counting by ones. So we're going to keep moving to find the next 5 numbers. 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97. And we know that we were counting by ones because that ones place increases by 1 as we count by ones. Great job finding that pattern by counting by ones with the 120 chart. You did a wonderful job today, boys and girls. Today we reviewed how to use patterns to count by ones and tens using the 120 chart. I hope that you're still seeing some connections to our counting on strategy that we used yesterday and even all the way in our earliest lessons. You sure did a wonderful job. After the video, you will have some problems to practice on your own. I will show you those independent practice problems now, and you can find them in the student practice for this lesson posted on our website, www.tn.gov/education. Good luck and do your best. To get you started, I'm going to read the problems aloud with you. All right. The directions say, write the numbers to continue each pattern, and you have your own 120 chart to use right here. If you don't have a printer, but you have a way to pull this up, you can pull up this 120 chart on a phone or another device, and then you can write on your own. This one says to count tens. So you're going to find the number 38, then number 48, and continue with that pattern to find the missing numbers. Number 2, count by ones, 66, 67, and continue on with that pattern. Number 3, count by tens, 17, 27, continue with that pattern. Number 4, count by ones, 108, 109, and continue on with that pattern. And then number 5, I really love this one. Number sense. Write the missing numbers on the number chart below. So you're going to look at your 120 chart to find the missing numbers. You're going to look at the numbers that they give you to figure out which ones are missing. I enjoyed reviewing how to count by ones and tens using a 120 chart with you today. Thank you for inviting me into your home again. I look forward to seeing you in our next lesson in Tennessee's At Home Learning Series. Bye, everyone.
Before you take a drink, do you think we can make this water rise to the top without putting any more water in there?
Yes.
How?
If we put some ice into here.
How many do you predict can fit in there before it goes all the way to the top?
I think 7.
7? Can you count them with me? Let's count.
1,
1,
2,
2,
3,
3,
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
do one more. Daddy dropped it.
11.
You predicted it would take 7 ice cubes, and it took 11 ice cubes. So, did it take more or fewer ice cubes?
I think more.
You think more? You're right, it did take more. Now, you can take a drink.